By the Emperor's light, another warp breach! Purge the heretics for the Emperor! Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So, last time, we got into a fight with the many faces of Aurora. And now, we have a big old room that we need to loot. Can't loot her body. Oh, no we can. Blasphemous prism, a glass prism crafted by the cultist of the Final Dawn. It belonged to their leader, Aurora. If you look through it long enough, your vision begins to deceive your mind, showing you what could be instead of what is. Avenger gauntlets, all attacks of opportunity deal an additional Aggie bonus damage. That would be good for somebody. I will check that out as soon as we get done looting this entire room. So first things first, you know what? I'm gonna put that in cargo too. Anything else? No, I think we're good, because I'm gonna put this back on Pascal before we leave here.
Keep your wits about you.
Because we have some big fights coming up, and I don't want him to accidentally shock the shit out of the rest of us. So let's quickly loot. I'll take that. And this. Anything else over here? I don't think so. Let's check the other side real fast. We gotta try and loot this place as quick as we can, because after we talk to the governor, we have a little bit of cleaning up to do, because we are getting very close to the end of the chapter, and we need to make sure that we've picked everything up and bought everything, just to be safe. Think we're good? Can we talk to you? May the motive force persist in the batteries of the righteous. Couldn't have said it better myself. Alright. We can't go through there. Okay. I'm surprised we didn't level up after that, but to be honest, we are a little bit over-leveled as it is. The hollow electrodynamics and... The hollowed electrodynamic Cenobium greets its savior. Ooh. Almost missed this.
My options open.
We will happily take that. Thank you very much. Anything else that I missed? I think we're good. Now, I vaguely remember there being one more door that I could go through. The cultists were killed with a hit to the back from some kind of electric weapon. Well, to be fair, we know what caused that now that we've been jumped. Hello? On the maladies of the machine spirits and ways of diagnostic divination. Anything around here?
I always have a backup.
Ooh. Oh, we can talk to him, but I want to loot real quick.
Deal with this.
Oh no, we can talk to both of them? The mummified tech priest rests on the table, enveloped in wires. Yep, okay. Same for the both of them. I think if we would have came and talked to them sooner, they would have given us some extra defense against the electricity. But again, we are slightly over-leveled, so we didn't exactly need it. Think we've cleared this place out already? So, off to the wild blue yonder. Oh, crap. Damn it. Where are we missing this? It's gotta be somewhere over here. We must have missed a body. And I can't see the bodies from this far away, so... there's gotta be someone around that we missed. Because it's not going to let us leave until we find them. Hello?
Let us not dawdle.
Loot? Oh. Please don't be over here. Well, we'll stop right there. We're just going to move as a unit and try not to die in an embarrassing way. Is it not over here? There he is. Quickly!
I feel nothing.
Damn it.
Nothing.
Oh well. Quickly! Get out! You don't need any more injuries.
Is there money to be
I
made?
think we got it. We should be good to go. I'm surprised it let me go fight Aurora with that still hanging around, but that's fine. Like I said, now we're going off to the governor. And then before we progress any further, we need to go and try and buy what we can. Because unless I've screwed up, we should be getting 3 more profit factor from talking to him. Alright, now we've already cleared this place out. Do you have anything to say? We'll cover the landing area. Yep, well, you guys have fun covering the landing area. There are no more enemies here. Gotta go pick up that profit factor and buy a couple of things. But we are getting awfully close to the end of chapter 1, finally. Even though we've had a lot more to do because of the DLC, I still maintain that the game doesn't really start until after we leave Footfall. So all of this is still kind of the tutorial. Kinda, sorta. Because this game is huge. Come on, potato. Don't lie to me. Don't.
Rogue Trader. I was somewhat brusque at our first meeting, and I would like to make up for it by expressing my thanks for your assistance in the electrodynamic cenobium. Your arrival could not have come at a better time.
Glad to hear it, Heinrichs.
Thanks to you, I have succeeded in finding the object that brought me to this system in the first place. Now that the weapon of corruption has been seized from the cult, I can satisfy the Lord Inquisitor's wish and travel with you to Footfall, once you have finished your business on Rycat. There is one more thing. The Lord Inquisitor gave me this item some time ago. He must have thought it likely that I would find myself aboard this vessel sooner than he. I was instructed to deliver this device to Lady Theodora. However, given recent events, I believe I ought to present it to you. This is an elucidator, a sacred machine capable of translating the languages of remote and lost worlds into Low Gothic. It can even process Xenos languages to a certain degree. Not without infelicities, but possibly well.
Well, considering that we saw you straight up waterboarding a guy when we first met you, I think you would be more direct than trying to hand me a tracking device, so I'm just gonna thank you for it. Thank you. The Inquisition's generosity is greatly appreciated.
May the Elucidator serve House von Valancius as faithfully as it has served the acolytes of the Holy Ordos up to now.
What do you think will become of the electrodynamic cenobium?
It all depends on the electro-priests who survived the attack. Fortunately for them, the cultists did not manage to seriously corrupt the holy site, partly thanks to the priesthood's efforts. Nevertheless, I would not be surprised if the local explorator fleet decides to audit and purge the damaged units once it hears about what has happened.
What do you plan to do now?
I would like to offer my assistance in resolving your immediate problems. I am aware that the ship suffered considerable losses during the recent mutiny and was damaged by the cultists' actions, and you have lost many valuable officers as well. You are in a difficult situation. I am at your disposal.
Well, I must return to my duties, and by that I mean quickly running over to the governor and then buying a whole bunch of shit. Heinrichs is about to say something else when he is interrupted by the sound of a Vox signal. Someone is trying to contact you.
Thank you for your time. Please consider me at your complete disposal while I am aboard your vessel.
I will do that. Congratulations on the victory, your lordship. The entire vessel was impatiently waiting the news of your expedition's success. The rumors about you not simply saving the Tech Priest Monastery, but actually eliminating the source of the mutiny are spreading like wildfire. The Vox transmissions from across the world speak of nothing else. Yep, I think we're getting that profit factor. Governor Medina is expecting you at his command center to discuss matters. We are ready to depart immediately. Just give the order. Sounds good, but after all that fighting, after wearing those cultist robes, I can think of nothing else I would rather do than go have a frickin' bath. Where is it? Hello? Yeah, over here. Okay. I need to wash the heresy off of my clothes. Master of Evolutions. Yes, I would like to take a bath. Come on, potato. No. Okay. Nothing quite gets out heresy like an over-opulent bath. The soothing water caresses your senses, and your grateful muscles welcome the chance to rest. A pleasant languor spreads through your body as you allow yourself a moment of quiet relaxation. I wish to see someone from my retinue. I think we're still working through... Okay. You know what? Let's bring in Argenta. I wish to know what the Sister of Battle do in their spare time. At once. Mechanicus, are you conditioning your body with water treatments? How commendable. Allow me to share some of the water exercises I learned at the Scala Progenium. Argenta does not wait for a reply, but immediately launches into a series of detailed instructions. 80% on both. As much as I want the free experience, I kind of want to do these water exercises, so I'm leveled up enough as it is. Argenta briskly explains how to stretch your muscles correctly. She makes you repeat each exercise multiple times as she teaches you the best way to do bends and squats. Her eyes are alight with righteous fire, and her voice rings out with conviction. She knows the same dedication to completing each exercise as she does to Destroying heretics. Damn it. Oh, that's what I get for being a wimpy little sniper. The sister is tireless, but you do not have her stamina. Your burning muscles beg for mercy and your legs cramp as you gasp for air. This is not exercise. This is torture. Argenta wipes the sweat from her brow with an air of satisfaction. Good work, Mechanicus. A healthy body is like a finely tuned bolter, a worthy instrument of his will. I will take my leave now. Rest and recover your strength. Alright, I probably could have talked to her a little bit if I had avoided the exercise, but to be perfectly honest, I wanted to see the both of them go through the motions. So, let's see. While I'm here, who can use this? Heinrichs has this, which is going to be really good. Every time the weird deals damage, the target's weapon skill and ballistic skill is reduced by -5 for 2 rounds. That's actually really good for him specifically. And then you have the tech use, which you don't really need. You know what? We'll go ahead and put that on there. And then... yeah, you aren't really using your current helmet. And then I'll go ahead and switch this out. What? Yeah, there we go. Okie dokie. I think we are good. I will go ahead and put some of this stuff in the storage, either off screen or on a different episode. But with us getting as close as we are to the end of chapter 1, I kind of want to just bum rush through this. Let's see. Yeah, we'll talk to Heinrichs real quick. Heinrichs looks at you intently, his head tilted. And start at the top and work our way down. I know nothing about you, Heinrichs. Could you tell me a little about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
How did you discover your abilities?
Like many psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
God damn. Sorcerer's powers are truly dangerous. I hope you have mastered your abilities since then.
When I arrived on Holy Terra and was tested, I was found to be suitable material for becoming a sanctioned psyker, able to bend his curse to his own will. I can assure you that the adepts of the Astra Telepathica were right in their assessment.
Good to hear. Tell me about the black ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psykers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers.
You know, it's kind of a miracle that these black ships ever make it back to Terra when they have to deal with that kind of crap.
Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
God damn. Well, maybe I take it back. They clearly know what they're doing. You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training.
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Heinrich stops there, clearly not intending to elaborate further. Yeah, well, fair enough. How long have you served in the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
You visited many worlds during your service, I'll wager?
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terra, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the Segment's other worlds.
You know, I'm not exactly an expert when it comes to 40k lore, but I don't think I've ever heard mention of anything other than Holy Terra or Mars. So I would be really interested to find out what the other planets in our solar system are doing. But what duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
Yeah, fair enough. For someone who's been in service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today. Gladly.
You're not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I have never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I've been working alone.
Wandering among the stars without family or friends, don't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
Yeah, fair enough. If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there other acolytes in the Coronis Expanse? Well, he did just answer that, but that's fair. The interrogator narrows his eyes at you and releases a disappointed sigh. After several seconds of silence, you realize that you will not be getting an answer. Yeah, well, he did say he's been working alone in the Coronis Expanse, so we kinda already did get an answer.
Such as?
What can you do as a psyker?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium, Servants of chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Yeah, fair enough. I must take my leave. Good having you aboard, Heinrichs. Now let's go talk to Pascal, who I think is over here. Maybe? Yeah.
The Messiah knows all, comprehends all.
Pascal, shrouded in his crimson robe, greets you with a soft voice synthesized by the Vox system. The mechadendrites growing out of the tech priest's back swivel in your direction, as if examining you with curiosity. I want to know the truth about you.
The request is approved. I did conceal certain information. I was a student of Archmagos Amanat, but I committed an act of betrayal after he deviated from sacred dogma.
What did Amarnat do?
He fell into schism and challenged the sacred boundaries of knowledge. The blessed Amanat claimed the limits of what is permitted must be expanded, because by refusing to explore certain law, we find ourselves in contempt of the seventh universal law. Comprehension is the key to all things. My mentor put forth a thesis claiming that we have stagnated, that ritual is now nothing but a cage for souls and false worship of the Omnissiah. He sought to break the cycle of mindless repetition because he saw the inevitable demise of our faith and all humanity at the end of it.
Certain aspects of the Imperium have indeed ossified. His argument sounds reasonable.
This statement is false. My mentor's words sound like heresy. Limits were established because it is dangerous to venture beyond. Each step past them could lead to a bloody slaughter, but the blessed Amanat was not afraid.
And yet you keep referring to him as the blessed Amarnat. How did you betray him?
The teachings of the blessed Amanat spread, and word of it reached the conclave of the Cognizance fleet. They recognized his teachings as tech heresy. Many tech priests suddenly vanished or were subjected to servo penance for minor transgressions. The students of Amanat, whose number included many enlightened and respected tech priests, resisted. My prognosis showed that our most likely future was a schism and a fratricidal war that would destroy the Cognizance fleet. That was when I headed to the conclave.
Yeah, I can't argue with your reasons either.
I confessed and handed the information about my mentor's research over to the conclave. Brazen and thematic studies of the Forbidden Law. The conclave could use that data to summon Archmagos Amanat to stand trial and compel him to repent on pain of excommunicate traitoris. His subsequent fate is unknown to me.
You acted as a loyal son of the Imperium should.
I pray that the Omnissiah grants us wisdom to overcome the dialectic differences that divide us.
Did I say something wrong? So why did you go to Rykad Minoris?
I was summoned there by a message that was encrypted with the blessed Amanat's personal code, and could it be interpreted in several ways. One thing was certain. We were in danger, and I had to go to Rykad Minoris.
The tech priest named Abel. Who is he?
Assessing his personality is difficult. comrades of the cog call such persons quiet ones. He possesses significant intellect, but shuns communication.
Oh. Well, it kind of sounds like Abel might have been a little bit on the spectrum before he got upgraded by the Mechanicus.
So far, I have not been able to determine why Abel summoned me to Rykad Minoris, how he is related to the blessed Amanat, or why he bears the same name as me. Perhaps the Reverend Abel cannot fully actualize and interpret the available data.
What are you gonna do next?
I was wrong when I assumed it was the blessed Archmagos Amanat, who assumed the guise of Abel Haneuman. But there is a connection between him and the Reverend Abel, and I intend to uncover the nature of this link. Acknowledged. I will return to ruminating on the search for the blessed Amanat.
I want to know more about your past.
The request is approved. I have no outright restrictions on disclosing this information.
Where are you from?
Information about my origins is worthless. I belong to the priesthood of explorators and came to the Coronis Expanse over 200 years ago. Any events preceding that moment are insignificant.
God damn. How did you end up in the Coronis Expanse?
I was honored to become a member of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet. When the Adeptus Mechanicus summoned the faithful for an exploratory venture into the depths of the Coronis Expanse, I joined the fleet in fulfillment of my sacred vows of comprehension.
Why are you not with the fleet then?
After I betrayed Archmagos Amanat, the fleet conclave directed me to the orbital station Altar Templum Calixis X-17 for penance. This venerable temple station was founded in the early years of our expansion into the Coronis Expanse. It is currently a rear observation post of the Cognizance fleet in orbit around the star Furibundus.
Who are the explorators?
The sacred fraternity of explorers. The cult Mechanicus sent us out to the frontiers of the known sectors as researchers and conquerors. We are the warriors of the Code, who return to the lost worlds and devote themselves to recovering the lost ancient knowledge. Explorators are granted the privilege of being more independent than many of our tech comrades. However, it has earned us a reputation as unstable and poorly controlled troublemakers whose unorthodox views are dangerously close to apostasy.
Tell me about your mechadendrites.
They are my younger brothers and guides on the way to the Omnissiah. Their machine spirits are directly bound to my neocortex and pick up impulses from my subconscious. Sometimes they act ahead of my thoughts. This is how the Omnissiah leads me to comprehension.
That's actually really cool, so it's kind of like a built-in Spidey sense.
Acknowledged.
Tell me more about the Adeptus Mechanicus.
I am honored to belong to the priesthood of Mars, guided by its tenets. We safeguard technology against the impure and the unenlightened.
Why did you mention Mars?
That is where the cult of the Omnissiah originated, and where we were granted the first revelations. Many millennia ago, we made an alliance with the Emperor of Terra, and have served the Imperium ever since, paying a tribute of machinery, weapons, and void ships. Everything that bears the blessed seal of machinery comes from our hands, and it is we who make sure the operating rituals are performed as they were meant to. We are everywhere. We are the Mars-forged steel bars that give the Imperium strength.
What do you mean you guard it? It's not buried treasure. It's not a secret.
It is both a treasure treasure and a secret. Technology is how the divinity of the Omnissiah manifests itself in this world. This is why the uninitiated may only be allowed to touch the most vulgar and mundane of its instances. We, on the other hand, are authorized to use the sacred catechism of maintenance and operation. Although there is another reason to deny lay people the sacrament of knowledge, it can be dangerous. Twisted by renegades, the Omnissiah's wisdom is called heretic, and the exposure to it may corrupt the uninitiated. Another danger is knowledge, strangely interpreted and inscrutably twisted by the minds of Xenos. This bane is called Xenotech.
Now, I think we're actually going to go with the first option, because number 2, even though it sounds somewhat intelligent, in this world, the machine spirit is real. There are enough people who believe it exists that it actually brings it into a creation. So no, technology is no longer merely a tool, there is a spirit behind it. So sacred objects should be touched only by worthy hands.
This statement is true. What many consider chains on our way to comprehension is our armor, which we have inherited from our wisdom-blessed predecessors.
Do you hold a high position in your fraternity?
This electu indicates that I am a Magos, who has mastered the sacraments of many spheres of knowledge, and has the right to conduct services in a forged cathedral.
Ooh. What is the Omnissiah, in your understanding?
He is the divine mechanism, the maker of technology. The universe was made to resemble a mechanical marvel, because the Omnissiah rules over it. Knowledge is the highest form that he uses to manifest in the world. For now. Someday, he will come to this world in the absolute fullness of his splendor.
I can't help but notice that there wasn't an actual description there.
The Adeptus Mechanicus worshipped the Emperor. He is the earthly manifestation of the Omnissiah, who brought humanity into the light of divine grace.
There you go, Pascal. What is behind the Adeptus Mechanicus's enthusiasm for replacing flesh with augmentations? I can answer that. The flesh is weak.
Organic tissue is an imperfect replica of the machine, transient and vulnerable. Metal is more stable, more effective, and more durable. Flesh speak is flawed next to binary language. Meat begets weakness, it softens the mind and undermines discipline. But you can replace metal when it wears down. In addition, a machine is a supreme form of knowledge, and by assuming mechanical form, we become closer to the Omnissiah. However, like all things sacred, our augmentations must not be defiled by the eyes of the ignorant. Which is why we reveal only the crudest of tools, while holier mechanisms remain concealed beneath our crimson robes.
I am curious to see your augmentations.
The right to witness the miracle of flesh being fused with holy metal is granted only to those who have ascended to the rank of initiate. However, your lofty status of rogue trader allows me to make a partial exception and reveal my sacred stigmata.
Well, maybe keep the stigmata in your pants. I was talking more about your lungs and all those wires coming out of your chest, buddy. Pascal reverently parts the robe's scarlet folds on his chest. There we go. You see emaciated white meat gnawed through by metallic shunts and flexible wires. Blood runs through transparent pipes, enriched with the nutrients required by the pallid flesh. Tech use test succeeded. the sight of a body transformed into an appendage to an incredibly complex mechanism built using unfathomably ancient blueprints is mesmerizing. Every component of this machine serves the dual purpose of preserving life in Pascal's fragile flesh and preventing all threats to his well-being. The Omnissiah has been generous to you. His creation is keeping you safe from death.
The Omnissiah has been generous to you too. He has granted you understanding.
Pascal looks at you with respect. He seems surprised that you recognize the purpose of the augmentations implanted in his body. You have a strange way of speaking. Is that because of the augmentation, or does your faith dictate how you should express yourself?
Partially true. I had a voice modulator implanted alongside the respiratory purification module, but there is an additional reason. Gothic is not my first language. I'm used to thinking and making statements in lingua technis. The binaric language is more informative, more ergonomic, and less prone to misinterpretation.
Yeah, fair enough.
Acknowledged.
I must take my leave.
May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Alright, I should probably talk to everybody else. I am going to talk to Abel real quick. The person you saved from the Electro Priest Monastery, the servant of the Omnissiah who calls himself Abel Haneuman, is staring intently at a cogitator's vid screen. Wires connect the sacred computing machine to augmetics inside the prayerfully bowed heads of murmuring servitors. Abel looks up at you. After a lengthy silence, he looks away and says stiffly, "The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all." How are you feeling, Abel? The tech priest stares intently at his feet for a while and then says in a halting voice, The running of the binaric protocols was bogged down and dissolved in false commands. The filter has separated the correct signals from the incorrect. The running has been restored to its swiftness. Pascal speaks softly as though trying to match the inflections of Abel's voice. Tech brother Abel has passed the diagnostics. The pernicious influence of sacrilegious procedures has been completely eliminated. Statistically, most survivors of a schismatical's infestation are left with severe cognitive impairments. However, Tech brother Abel's mind, being of a less typical nature, has not been damaged to so great a degree. Tech brother Abel, you are free from possession, are you not? I trust you pose no threat to my ship? Abel's voice quivers and his eyes dart around, desperately avoiding eye contact. What was flawed has since been purged, but the shadows of the hunt linger. The cog is dismounted, and no judgment has been made. In the absence of judgment, threat remains. Who will make the judgment? I will. Pascal places a mechandendrite on Abel's shoulder and repeats, his voice heavy like a wheel thread, crushing the dirt underneath. I will make the judgment that will avert the threat. His gaze falls on you. There is no need to frighten him. What troubles him so? I assumed at first that this was caused by the shock inflicted upon his system by the schismatical attack, but my tech brother's words are a sign of a deeper reason for his unease. He foresees something that threatens both him and all of those around him, and thus I stand ready to face this threat. What judgment do you two speak of? Only he knows, but if my tech brother fears that he might not make the right decision at the critical moment, then I will do it for him. Why are you so concerned about him? He is not the one you were hoping to find. Answer unknown. I am registering a kinship. both between our identifiers and one that is more profound. Archmagos Amernat left an imprint on all of his students. It may be then that I see some of my mentor in Tech Brother Abel, so my spirit rejoices and strives to keep him from harm. You care for him as if he truly were your younger brother. Pascal's Vox rasps a tired laugh. Tech Brother Abel is harmonious, and harmony is beauty. Is it so strange an urge to protect beauty from the horrors of the grotesque? Fair enough. I will try not to give Abel any undue cause for dread. Thank you. Why do you and Pascal have the same name? The naming of the names is not an index to the text. The naming of the names is the text. Abel's answers can be enigmatic. His mind works differently from ours. He thinks in harmonic imagery and it notices the symmetries and proportional relationships in the void around him. Poetry would be the closest analogy to how he perceives and interacts with reality. I never imagined there could be poets among the tech priests. Pascal looked surprised. Why not? Technolinga is rhythmatical and possesses a broad semantic scope, and some of its more all these words. Sonorous dialects lend themselves well to individual and symphonic declamation. Pascal, do you understand what Abel is referring to? Negative. However, I will hypothesize. Tech Brother Abel is seeking to convey the idea that our matching identifiers are not the key to some vital data point. They are in and of themselves the vital data point. At this stage in my analysis, I can draw no useful conclusions from this proposition. However, the very fact that Tech Brother Abel is trying to hint at something points to him either being better informed than I am, or having conducted a more in-depth analysis of the situation. That is useful information. It really is. Soften my tone. Abel, could you please explain what you mean? Abel relaxes a little. His gaze drifts to the side. There is silence. Are we overthinking it? It doesn't matter why your names are the same. What matters is that they are the same? Is that what you mean? Abel looks sideways at you, and at once transfixed stupor is gone. At this point in time, the cycle has been broken and reshaped into a rising spiral, as Amernat envisioned. On hearing his mentor's name, Pascal lets out a raspy, static-filled sigh. They are connected. My hypothesis regarding Abel's connection to the blessed Amernat has been confirmed. What are you working on there, buddy? We catch the soul of the light in the solar wind. We look for footsteps the Omnissiah left when he walked the desert. This is the one aromantic computation procedure. The depersonalized minds of these machine servants are in a data drain, processing enormous arrays of assorted data and aggregating them. Virtually all results of such synthesis are scrap data, but occasionally we have noted coincidences. Those exactness defied logic. It is extremely rare and venerated form of statistical augury, but Tech Brother Abel is adept at this form of appealing to the Deus Mechanicus. Ooh, I like those odds. Can I get away with asking questions without losing these? Let's find out. Why do you do it? It is how we execute the quest for knowledge in the hope that the machine god grants us epiphany, so that we may discern a logical connection in a mass of absurd data, which will propel our comprehension forward. Look for logical connections within the data. Most of the runes are devoid of any meaning, but you notice a few among them that combine into formulae and computational graphs. Abel peers at you inquisitively, then shifts his gaze to the vid screen. You could swear that a smile lights up on his face under the respiratory augmetic. A crystal is exquisite in clear water. Deviation from the cycle's trajectory has been increased, as was Amernat's wish. Abel lowers his head and his Vox synthesizer broadcasts a binaric hymn you do not recall having heard before. It's full of vibrant energy, and its precise rhythm is nothing short of pleasing to the ear, a rare thing for the language of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Pascal explains with an inexplicable air of pride, Tech Brother Abel has dedicated a lesser aria to you. The piece is distinguished by a high degree of acoustic harmony and is fit for use as a motto, auxiliary identifier, or epitaph. Thank you, Abel. It was a generous gift. The gift is disproportionate, but it does signify a personal affinity. Inspect the sacred machine. The hair has been removed from the servitors' heads. Their bulky cerebral augmetics cover their skulls like helmets. The faces of the cogitator's servants are blank. Their eyes are closed. Their lips are incessantly whispering what sounds like gibberish. Hundreds of lines of symbols containing information scroll down the cogitator's vid screen. Abel Haneuman peers at it with a voracious interest, in sharp contrast to his usual placidity. My interest in the subject has been exhausted. Pascal, did you hear what Abel said? It seems we have contributed to Amernat's design and deviated from the cycle. What does that mean to you? A low guttural sound rises from the depths of Pascal's Vox, as though planets' tectonic plates are shifting and crushing each other. The mighty rumble brings forth words imbued with power. We follow a path charted by a great mind, but that path leads to dark places. The cycle has the advantage of predictability. Abandoning it will plunge the collective into a perilous space of uncertainty, which will inevitably lead to disasters and the risk of universal annihilation. Doctrine of discontinuing the cycle may herald good things come, or it may be a death sentence. Only the Omnissiah knows all and comprehends all. Others are mere prophets who interpret his wisdom as far as their own comprehension permits. Let's see. All of these are somewhat good, but I think one is the closest to the truth, at least in this world. Is that not the promise of every heresy? Let's renounce our path, distort our doctrine, and head out towards what looks like a better future, but actually only has danger and grief in store for us? This statement is true. Many dangerous philosophies appear impeccably logical, yet have dangerous defects that their creators were unaware of. There's doubt in the tech priest's voice. The tone of thundering profundity drains from Pascal's Vox, giving way to his familiar sibilance. Man, these giant $5 words are breaking my mind. I must take my leave. Abel immediately looks away as if he has lost all interest in you, but then his Vox crackles barely audibly. I am glad to see you. Aw, Abel. I'm glad we saved your life, buddy. Now, I do need to go around and talk to everybody before we finish off the chapter. but I want to make sure that we actually buy what we need to buy before the end of the episode. So we're going to go talk to the governor real fast and then head back to the ship and try to buy out a few things. Here we go. Yeah, you know what? We'll take the crew that dealt with the Cenobium. Hopefully we can take care of this rather fast, but I want to get this done this episode, so we might run a little bit long. But that's alright. We shouldn't have to talk to him too much. And we've already cleared the area, so...
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Hello, buddy. Unit Quartz Crane requests permission to negotiate trade agreements. Are you open to commercial transaction? I wanted to let you know that the place was safe, but I guess we're just talking to the governor. Greetings again, your lordship. Governor Medina offers Heinrichs a somewhat strained smile. Master von Calyx, it pleases me to see you in good health. I hope that you accomplished what you intended to at the electrodynamic Cenobium? The interrogator nods without saying a word. After an uncomfortably long pause, Medina clears his throat and quickly turns to you. Yes! 5 profit factor, even more than I thought we were going to get. I can't express how grateful I am for your help. Now that the insidious heretics' designs have been thwarted, nothing stands in the way of my plans or yours. With Aurora dead, the spirit of revolt is waning. Entire squads of rebels are surrendering. We are witnessing the final days of the uprising. I have already signed the order to allocate 2,000 first-class Voidfarers to you. Their transfer to your ship should begin any minute now. I would also like to salute the savior of Rykod Minoris, and have already given the order for a celebration to be held in your honor. We will mark your victory with an ancient custom, the Triumph. You will drive through the city streets accompanied by a guard of honor, as befits a hero who has vanquished the Imperium's enemies, while your trophies will be displayed to the jubilant crowds. Let me know once you have concluded your business in this system and are ready for the triumph to begin. Governor Medina is positively ablaze with enthusiasm. Well, like I said, we got some shopping to do, so I have other business in this system. And I daren't delay you further. Your lordship? Yep. Back to the ship.
I always keep my options open.
Back to the ship. We have some stuff to buy. And quickly. Come on, potato. You can do it. Just don't lie. When you get to 100%, just load me in. Don't sit there for a minute and a half. Come on. Why do you have to lie? Alright. Generous. I've got some money to spend. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance? I would like to order the shipping and transportation of some goods. Tech Priest Crane. We could have probably just bought this before we left, but Abelard needs a new pair of shoes. Thank you. And then Thunderfang. Medal of Alacrity. This is the big one. That is going on Cassia, and it is never coming off again. So, very quickly, let me just put these where they belong. Here you go, Abelard. Have fun with that. And this can sit there. I think I'm going to send this to cargo. Put that there. That there. And I will worry about cleaning up and talking to people next time. Because unfortunately, it has gotten past that time of the hour. So we are going to have to end it here for today. But I want to thank each and every one of you for coming along with me. I hope you all have had a wonderful day. And until I see you next time, have fun and stay safe out there.